All right, we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we got a lot to talk about in our stream, okay? Things are looking pretty ugly out there in the crypto markets. And this video, I'm gonna talk about what you should be doing to survive this crypto bear market, okay? I've been through this stuff before. Trust me, I watched the entire 2018, 2019 disaster play out. I'm going to talk about what I did during that time that I'm really glad that I did, that I think is going to be really beneficial for a lot of people watching this channel. Okay, the worst thing you can do is panic. The best thing you can do is talk about a constructive plan for how to, put one foot in front of the other and what to, look for, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity here. All right, we're talking about that. We're going to look at a lot of other updates that have happened in this space since yesterday. A ton of exciting things that are coming down the pike for the entire crypto technology ecosystem. We're going to answer some of your questions. Check on the crypto markets, check out the trends on chain, and a whole lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step by step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. So we got people jumping in the chat here. We've got Culturized, David Stone, Code Chap, Automatic Beats, Rodrigo, Dale, Brothers of Legacy, Christopher, All in One, Devon Shu, if I'm saying that right, Future Crypto Whale. Let's see here. Chris, welcome. All right, so let's jump into this, okay? So I saw this article, popping up on CoinDesk here. Let's just see. While I was prepping for a stream this morning, I saw this. There's like 4 things to do in a crypto bear market, okay? And so, all this is like, investment advice on, how to treat this in terms of, accumulating more crypto, like dollar cost averaging, find the best entry point and all that type of stuff. And while I do think there are going to be great buying opportunities in crypto, in the coming months, all right, I want to talk about something else that is vital to understand, okay? Because I was here during, the ICO bubble that popped in 2017, and was here during 2018, 2019, when we saw just an insane crypto winter period. And first of all, I want to say I really don't think that what's happening right now is going to be the same as it was back then. There could be some similarities, okay, because we have a really new problem on the table, which is what's going on with the economy. As I said this entire time, if you watch these streams, I've always said sort of like the question mark for the crypto markets is what's going to happen with the economy. And it seems like we're getting some clarity on that things are rough. So anyways, it's different in one regard, but I think there's a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of importance that I did back then, okay, that I personally walked through for 2 years, okay, that I think is really good for a lot of people watching this channel. Because at the end of the day, my thesis on this space is like the best opportunity in crypto to make life-changing money is to get inside the industry and like double down on your technical skills and get that opportunity. So the first thing, no matter what your long-term plans of crypto are, one of the most important things that you can do right now is like pay attention, okay? Like, trust me, I get it. Like, watching money go down every single day for 6 months, that's basically where we've been, is not fun. Like, when I get up and think about what I'm gonna say for the streams here every day, like, I have to look at the crypto prices. Okay, and so I actually like try to discipline myself not really to watch crypto prices for the rest of the day, like before we talk about it. I try to just limit myself to checking them once a day. I'm not always good at that, okay? Like sometimes I just get the impulse and I just can't resist. Like I just got to see what's happening, okay? But like for me personally, like I really try to discipline myself to like, all right, once a day we're going to see what it is, because what am I going to do, right? Unless I'm planning on buying more or selling, which I'm not planning on selling, okay? How is it productive for me to like sit there and watch it? So anyways, I mean, like there's some exceptions the past week, because like when the Terra stuff was going down, that was like watching TV. Again, I want to be very like sensitive to anybody who was affected by the Terra disaster, but that was just like, couldn't pull myself away from it. So anyways, I try to discipline myself to like only check the crypto prices like, once a day if I can, because I need to do these streams for you all, and I want to stay tapped into the space. So anyways, so pay attention, but checking cryptocurrency prices on refresh all the time is probably not a healthy thing to do. So pay attention because there's going to be tons of opportunities. Now, I'm not going to give you investment advice. It's not really what I try to do in this channel. Say like, buy the dip, buy here, buy there. I think there will be lots of opportunity to do that. So if you plan on adding more to your crypto positions, there's, you don't want to check out, because that's going to be the temptation for a lot of people. Like, that's where I was kind of going with this, which is most people are going to see crypto go down for this time, get so like depressed about it, and then just leave the space and never, watch anything ever again. Okay. But that's when the big opportunities happen, because that's when the new trends tend to rear their head, okay? Because it's not because like bear markets create new trends. It's that new trends start to generally appear during bear market times, and then crypto prices tend to follow those things, okay? Because that's how technological innovation works, is it leaps, all right? You basically have these slow periods where nothing happens, and then boom, a bunch of stuff happens. I think it's the Lenin quote that's like, there's decades where nothing happens, and then there's weeks where a decade happens, something to that effect, right? And crypto is kind of like that, but it's also a much smaller time scale. So it might be like a year where nothing new really comes out, and then like boom, something new comes out, and then there's just this explosion in the space. Now, I do think economic conditions have to improve before like crypto prices would just follow that for sure. But that's what you want to keep watching, okay? And that's what I try to help you all see on this channel. Again, we're going to see a bunch of stuff like airdrops during this, time where things are a little bit slower. We're going to see a lot of opportunities, and you're going to completely miss them if you just check out this space. So that's number one. So number two, the most important thing to do for most people watching this channel, again, this is why for so long, again, first of all, I'm feeling the pain just as much as anybody else as prices are going down. This is not a fun or easy thing to watch, okay? I would love for, everything not to have happened that has happened, and then just continue on our trend upward. I do think crypto's going to continue to trend higher over time. I don't know what the time frame is, but for that reason, because all this is completely out of our control, neither you or I have any control over what, central banks decide to do with interest rates, or, the money supply, or what a bunch of institutions decide to do with their stock portfolios or crypto portfolios. We have no control over that, all right? And so for that reason, I do think crypto is going to trend over time, and so I have a significant crypto bet in terms of owning crypto that I don't plan on getting out of. I'm just going to wait, okay? But for most people, including myself, like, the best way to make a life-changing result in crypto is to focus on something you can control, which is the big opportunity for technical talent in the space. And so like right now is a perfect time to like double down on those skills and get ahead and find what that next wave is. And you don't even have to find the next thing. Like, there's already a ton of demand for people who just understand how to code Solidity smart contracts, understand how to create tokens, understand how to create NFTs. If you understand any or all those things and then create, websites that talk to those, like, there's somebody out there that's probably gonna hire you because the demand is so insane. And, we might see a little like we might see some new projects in the space that are not financially stable, like go under as crypto prices fall. That does happen, okay? But in general, like, we're not going to see demand for blockchain development evaporate by any stretch of the imagination. Because, I mean, if you go to like any major crypto news website, right, and then you just look at the homepage, like, half the stories are about people raising like $145 million, right? Or like this one raising 35 million. Okay. So there's all this venture capital still flowing in this space. Now, some of it might slow down, right? Some people might be like, oh, like we got freaked out during the major economic collapse that's happening, and some people's funding might have gotten cut, right? But like, there's still a bunch of people that are making massive technological bets in this space, and they all need to hire talent. And so like part of it is it's easier to concentrate on technical tasks kind of when prices are going down, and sometimes it's a welcome distraction when you're just like tempted to just sit there and refresh your fund all day, like, and that's causing you pain rather than excitement, which you feel in a bear market. Sometimes just like being able to block out all the noise and focus on something that actually is moving forward, which is like getting these skills, can be a really like kind of healthy thing to do during a time where you're tempted to just like, freak out and have insane anxiety. Okay. That's exactly what I did during 2018, 2019. I started my YouTube channel during the bear market. Okay. And then really advanced far beyond, like I was like way ahead, and was able to, people were hiring blockchain talent in 2018 when Bitcoin like crashed to like $3,500 after being $20,000. Okay. Lots of people were demanding. I was doing projects all the time, and was still doing that. And I got way ahead when nobody cared about the space. Now, I don't think we're going to see the same like disillusionment with crypto that we're going to see in 2018, 2019. Like I was saying, for many reasons, I think this time's different in many ways. Crypto can still go fall farther. Prices could still stay depressed for quite a while. But what I'm saying is, I think why this time is very different is you have a lot of people that are saying like, hey, I'm just kind of waiting for things to get better before I add to my crypto bet in terms of investing, right? And then, because nobody's sitting here is going, what are we going to do with this Bitcoin thing? What are we going to do with this Ethereum thing? That's kind of what people were saying in 2018. The answers are there, or at least some of the answers are there. And I anticipate many more answers to appear in the coming years, okay? And I think lots of other people do too. And that's one reason we're seeing so much, so many bets on this space in terms of venture bets for building new projects. And so how you can, how you can do that is participating. And so, if you got blown up like during this time, and said, maybe the best thing is not to try to like claw it all back and trade it all back. Like maybe the best thing is to double down on your cash flow and learn a high income skill like blockchain. It's a perfect time to do it. So anyways, let's kind of take a look at what's going on in the space. So that's my advice on surviving this bear market that we're in. Let's talk about, because somebody was saying on the stream yesterday, they were like, it's a bear market, dude, or like, why would you call it a bear market? I have called it a bear market. Let me just look at year to date. I have been differentiating so that I don't think it's an equivalent to what we saw in 2018, 2019. But there's nothing, you can't look at a price that was here. Actually, let me go back. You can't look at something that was $65,000 in November and is now, it was $28,000 this morning and not call it a bear market. It is a bear market. It's just the question is it going to look like what people saw in 2018? It remains to be seen, but I still don't think so. So, let's talk about some speculations on a bottom. Okay. So you got to take all this with a grain of salt. I do not pretend by any stretch of the imagination to be a TA guy. I don't pretend by any stretch of the imagination to be a price guru, okay? But I have been in these markets for a really long time. I've witnessed many tops, many bottoms, and I want to talk about potential for a bottom in crypto, relatively soon on the grand scheme of things. And when I say crypto, I mostly mean the Bitcoin price. So, some stuff that people are looking for in terms of bottom are definitely like selling volume, because that bottom's typically marked by fast price changes with increased volume. So, or capitulations, or what I should say. So like final capitulation is typically what, accompanies a bottom. And the capitulations look like fast price changes with high volume. So you can see the rate of change here and then the volume here. Okay, so you can kind of see that here, right? Like capitulation, high volume, something kind of like this here. And then we're seeing a kind of similar uptick. Now, I want to talk about a statistic that's floating around, all right, that we'll see if it's true. Institutional players kind of operate different from retail investors. So retail investors are like you and I, right? People who just have a internet connection, investing with their own hard-earned money, getting on Google, going, how do I buy Bitcoin, right? They get to a website like Coinbase and do that, Binance, whatever. And there's a statistic that I've seen floating around. We'll see if it's true or not, that basically the average retail trader tends to capitulate after they see 5 straight days of red. Okay. I don't know if there's any like actual merit to that statistic, or if that's just like somebody, saying something online, but it seems plausible, right? And so if there's any merit to that statistic, we're starting to get that with equities, okay, and we're starting to see some of that with crypto. Now this was technically a green change, okay, but if we start to see a pattern where we just like see this boom, 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 we could see that final capitulation relatively soon on the grand scheme of things. It sort of feels like we're at a part of it, okay, and based on how this market has traded, we kind of had this slow bleed. We could see this capitulation, bring us down. It could bring us down to, I think 50% from here would seem extreme. But anything could happen. So I don't know where the bottom is, but it feels like we're getting kind of close. Okay. It feels like this is part of the capitulation, but I really, I'm not doing anything to act on that information other than saying like, oh, some opportunity could come onto the table soon. Because trust me, I want just as much as anybody else to just kind of get it over with and then, just let things start to improve. So let me know what y'all think in the comment. Do you think that we're a part of the capitulation? Do you think there's still like just a slow bleed farther? Because I really just don't think that we're going to see a continued slow bleed to like 50% below where we are now. That's just kind of crazy. Because think about it this way, like really liquid assets like crypto, stocks, all that type of stuff, the prices tend to kind of move at the speed of information, okay? It's not like you're talking about really illiquid assets like real estate, not super liquid. They're fungible. You got to find somebody to buy the house. Houses you don't sell quite as fast as these other assets because unless you're like doing off-market deals and you got like a buddy network where you can quickly, close in a week or something like that, most people are like hiring a realtor, going through that week of filling out paperwork, getting their house listed, and then connecting with the buyer, doing the due diligence process, so the housing market, we'll see what happens with it, but it takes longer for those type of changes to occur in a housing market. But with crypto, stocks, all that type of stuff, it can happen fast. So there's kind of the impression that, we're in a recession now and a lot of the really liquid financial assets are, are sort of pricing that in. And so for that reason, even if we continue to have horrible economic conditions for the rest of the year into next year, then crypto and stocks could have potentially already priced that in. 'Cause, we're seeing crazy stuff like tech stocks. I've been using Shopify as a pretty good example. Shopify got absolutely demolished. As a major company, a major company. Now everybody's like, well, it was overvalued anyway. So, but that's insane. That's absolutely insane. And right now, like we can kind of use a lot of this stuff as proxy for the crypto markets. Like if you look at the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ 100, look at the QQQ, they're trading a lot like Bitcoin. Okay. High correlation with tech stocks and major cryptos like Bitcoin. So I want to take a quick look at a macro take. We'll pull up Raoul Pal's take on the macro views. A lot of people are not super happy with Raoul, from some of his past predictions that we were ahead with crypto. But he even talks about that in the tweet. Says a lot of people who were kind of, super angry. They're all just like, we're all hating each other online. And, some of those emotions are kind of a pretty good sign that we're probably hitting a bottom somewhere relatively soon on the grand scheme of things. Okay, let's kind of go through this. So, as I talked about, I think we are going into a pretty nasty recession or in one. my bet is that we're in one right now. Okay. That just side note. I mean, again, I'm no macro expert, but if I had to just place a bet right now, like we already saw GDP go down Q1, it's not going to surprise me at all if, we come out with the numbers and say that, oh, well, GDP was down in Q2 as well. I mean, surprise, surprise. How is GDP going to be that much more positive? Oh, sorry. I was watching a video there about that. I was watching the Graham Stephan channel. It's pretty good for some financial insights. But anyway, so like, I mean, how's the GDP going to just like continue to increase like crazy with the stock market's getting absolutely decimated? So my view is that we're already in the recession. We'll see. So anyways, layoffs are coming, and as our house price falls, yeah, we'll see about the housing market. Demand destruction is everywhere due to the largest monetary tightening in history. Okay. And I think that's one of his sort of theses on how a recession is going to happen is destroy demand. That's what happens when you raise interest rates. That's what happens when you tighten, you take money out of the economy, demand. So that the bit talks about supply and demand. I mean, you can affect either factor. You can affect the supply, and you can increase the supply with the same demand, and then that affects prices. Or you get the supply stay the same, and you can just destroy demand. So it's the biggest one in history. So anyways, the equity markets, as he has pointed out, in recent weeks have priced this already. So the credit markets are beginning to price this, and copper doing its job. The year-over-year rate of change of these assets you need to look at. So the bond market and oil are the two assets not pricing in future recession yet due to the supply issues in energy. So bonds finally decided to join the party, and the trend of higher yields, lower equities has probably ended. So lower stocks now equals lower yields. Okay, so the final show to add will be oil. He thinks it will break lower. So bond yields fall, and oil falling will give the excuse to the Fed to hike again in May and then pause or do one more in June, and the bond markets will begin to price it out. So here's the kicker. So the next 4 weeks are going to be highly unsettling as every position gets taken out and shot, something I've been warning about. There'll be no safe place to hide except bonds, and most people are short those. So liquidation writ large. So crypto's in full panic mode, as we're talking about. All of the monkeys are flinging poo at each other or at me on Twitter, and that is a sign of approaching lows. Okay, so March 2020 was very similar levels of fear. Of course, I was here during that time. Fear, anger, vitriol, shock, and panic. So June 2021 was less. And I agree with that. Like, June 2021 kind of sucked, but it wasn't as bad as this in terms of everybody's sentiment. I mean, we didn't have the major macro fears that we have now. So basically, as he's pointed out time and time again, crypto is a long-term investment for him, not a trade. 60% corrections are within his expectations. And you can see how Bitcoin's performing to its exponential trend over time, which means we could go down and touch that exponential trend as we have done in these previous lows. So basically, sent him so bad that just by writing this tweet, he's basically just saying there's going to be huge opportunities. Keep calm, carry on, relentlessly test your hypothesis with open mind. He's going to basically add to ETH and then also some other things, growth. Yeah. Somebody's talking about his price targets for Bitcoin by the end of 2021. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. We didn't hit those price targets. So you got to take some of the other grain of salt. Yeah, we got some negative sentiment here for sure. So this is, wouldn't low liquidity, high volatility be good for our bots? Yes, definitely. How much Adderall am I on? 0. I do drink coffee in the morning though. So let's check on Terra for sure. because I've been watching Terra. I mean, Terra is absolutely insane. I mean, early this morning I saw, I mean, gosh, minus 99.6%. I saw Terra below 1 cent this morning. I mean, it's like that's one of the craziest charts I've ever seen in crypto. I mean, that is literally one of the craziest charts I've ever seen in crypto for something that, at the market cap, if you check on market cap, was, $40 billion. And now is like, let's just see what it currently says. $269 million. So hang in there, Terra folks. Somebody says, is shorting Luna a safe play? I don't short. Shorting's too risky for me. And shorting just, yeah, I'm not a super sophisticated trader, really. And I don't even do shorting as a hedge. Could, but like, I don't do it. Because think about it. Like, you have such limited upside in terms of like shorting, and you have a pretty big downside, which is just like losing everything. Because that's in crypto, you just get liquidated. It's like, if you had like a margin account or something like that, or like, crypto's not the place where like you're gonna you're gonna have to pay back more than you initially invested or something like that, where you get in a short squeeze scenario and like you have to, your losses become like infinite basically, but you're gonna liquidate your principal pretty fast. Somebody says, I saw a liquidation chart. Someone said, don't short. I saw a liquidation chart for shorting and longing Luna. It showed liquidations were the same for longing and for shorting. Too volatile. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I could see that. Somebody says, ask Melvin Capital how shorting is going. Yeah. So this is a little late to short Terra. Yeah, I mean, totally. Like, the risk reward scenario for shorting Terra is like terrible right now. Like, I mean, look how far down it's gone, and I mean, how much farther down can it go than $210 million market cap? I mean, it can definitely go down. It's just the opportunity's super low. Like you're trying to trade for peanuts. I mean, risk reward is not an often understood thing in crypto. Like, why would, let's say you want to short it with $100. I mean, I'm just taking like a real low number just for like, somebody wants to play around. Well, like, what's the potential return on that? And you're probably just gonna lose it. And if you're investing with a lot more size than that, let's say you did with $1,000 or $10,000 or $100K or $1 million. I mean, whatever your number is, like, you gotta risk a whole lot to make a pretty small return. Somebody says 47 million market cap right now. Okay, everybody. As always, well, first of all, again, definitely right now is a tough time in crypto for everybody, myself included. I'm feeling the pain just like everybody else. How can you survive? Well, part of it's having something to, devote your time and attention to that's not just like sitting there refreshing charts. Again, I try to discipline myself to only checking it once a day. I'm not always good at that. Sometimes I, check it a few times, but the worst thing you could possibly do is sit there and just like refresh all day. Like you're going to drive yourself crazy. And that's easier said than done in some cases, but part of it is having something to take your mind off of it, which can be a fulfilling skill. And that's why I like to code during times like this, because you can just focus on something else. It's not crypto prices. And there's going to be a ton of opportunity in the coming months to really build out the next wave of what's going to happen in crypto. I do think it's coming. I do think that crypto is going to trend higher over time. We don't know what's going to happen. It feels like we're in a capitulation phase and that we're probably getting close to what a bottom could be. But I don't know. I really don't know. But anyways, there's a ton of opportunity in crypto. Best way to make life-changing money is double down your technical skills, catch that massive trend. So if you want to start doing that, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those, you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, actually, I become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. Help people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching.